Good morning. What do you say when you lose a quarter of your roof? Oof. They should put ads here. Stop trying to put ads in the game. Put an ad right here. It's just a big blank canvas. Okay, so we've got some Final Dawn reward proposal update thingamajigglies. This image still is the lowest, like 144p image ever. It's really funny. So I want to quickly show what the updates are. There's going to be a quick video, I promise, because I got to go to work and just kind of give my thoughts on it. You know what I mean. So right away, what is the Final Dawn? Well, it's Varlamore Part 3. It's coming in the next few months, and it's going to have a big old spooky boss called the Delve boss. Whatever. It's going to be a Delve boss. So I'm going to go right into the rewards, assuming that you won't know what this content is, and then I'll circle back at the end and fill in the details. At that point, you can click off if you're like, oh, I know what he's talking about. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Right away, they say, oh, we forgot to talk about this new item, the Earthbound Tekapalti. And it's going to be from the new type of Nagua, which will be the Sulfur Blades or the Glacial Temotli, but it's going to be the stab variant, so that's not from the new boss. That's just like, oh, I forgot about this. So for the Delve boss, the previous reward was going to be a new cape. It was going to be tradable and best in slot. And then they were like, oh, wait, let's make it untradeable and less good, but still best in slot. And everyone was like, what are you mad? So they've now taken the Eldritch Veil, which is what it was called, and they've taken it off the table. It's no longer on the drawing board. We're not doing the new cape. No new cape coming this update, which honestly that confirms that we're going to get Inferno 3, which is going to be an Inferno for cape version, Mage cape. So that's something to look forward to, I think. The Colosseum's a very nice piece of content. They'll probably add something equivalent for Mage in the next year, I would have to guess. Now the Eldritch Necklace is what I call it. Is what they're going to go with. So if you remember, the Occult Necklace used to have 10 magic strength, and they halved it, so now it's 5. And then when they halved it, they also added some magic bonus to the boot slot with the Eternals, and they added some to the ring, and they added some back to Ancestral and put some on Arams and stuff like that. So it used to be 10 magic strength. They brought it down to 5 and redistributed it. I was huge for that update. I was very, very on board. Now they're talking about dropping a demonic mark that will upgrade your Occult Necklace. And right away I was like, uh-oh, they're going to bring it back to 10 magic strength. But no, it's going to bring you to 7 magic strength. And a couple of prayers, some good defense, more magic accuracy. The accuracy is quite big, actually. So with this, you're getting 8 more magic attack bonus, 2 more magic damage bonus, and then a bunch of defense. So makes the Occult Necklace very good again, very, very powerful. This will be largely sought after item. It'll be the staple of this content. People will be like, oh my god, I got the Eldritch Necklace. Also, it's nice because you can like pronounce it, and it's not like a gloopial Tomokl like the other things that they're releasing. So excited for that. Ran the deeps. We got the DPS. So this is full ancestral. This is max mage gear on a monster that's unaffected by whatever. Like if you go to the Wardens, if you go to TOA, the Shadow gets buffed even further. So just outside of that content, you've got Augury on, you've got your Saturated Heart cooking. With this, your max hit is 66 with a Shadow. And that's pretty good. Now, the way the Shadow works is it triples your magic damage percent bonus and your accuracy. But we just care about the magic percent bonus. So it gives you a 2% bonus. This does. So obviously we're multiplying that by 3 because it multiplies it by 3. So 6% bonus. So you take your 66 and you multiply that by 1.06, which is 6%. We now get 69.96. So this is going to increase your max hit on the Shadow by roughly 3. Now rounding, it will always round down, But it's tricky. So I popped it into another one just to double verify, and it says the max hit would be 69. I like custom made the necklace, but this thing takes forever to put together, and it was not fun. So max hit for Mage going up by 3 with this necklace. Obviously, that's going to make a lot of people want it and will purchase it, and it'll be good. So that's a good tradable item that will have a lot of value from this. Thrall upgrade replacement. Now they were going to have this weird janky Thrall thing coming out with this update that I thought was weird and didn't want. Most people want the Thrall spell to not need the use of the book. It's an inventory slot lost for no point. So if you're adding a death charge on there as well, you're losing 2 inventory slots plus the 3rd of the rune pouch. So people were just like, we don't know what to do with the Thrall, so they've just pulled it fully. I imagine this is going to come with a Kingdom Divided quest sequel, which surely that's going to be called a Kingdom United, right? Or something like that. It'll come with another update where they will probably, in Deadman mode, there's a Thrall trinket where you can click on an item. It's like a teleport tab with unlimited uses, and it just summons you a Thrall. Like, I would love that. It's super, super, super powerful because that means you can be on another spell book with Thralls. But yeah, I'm curious to see how that shakes out. So they've said they're just removing it, and what they're gonna have, not as a replacement. I don't know why they're saying this is a replacement for the Thrall upgrade, because it's confusing. They're just gonna add a teleport to the content as a tradable drop, but also they're gonna talk about, well, this isn't gonna be pulled, which is weird. They're going to add in a tradable drop that teleports you to the 3rd delve level, which lets you skip the early waves for that run. So that's great. Those will have a lot of value to them. Like, the high level community will be purchasing those off the shelves. Remember when the Araxor teleports on day 1 were like 500k, and it was still worth paying? Because you just teleport back and get back to the content. So that's kind of what I see with that. Those will be some tradable rewards that'll be very expensive early, and then they'll settle around whatever. They'll settle out after months, weeks. So the next one is not changed. The Avernic Treads will be a combination of all 3 boots. It doesn't change their stats other than a little bit of range. Does it say the range bonus? Apparently it gives it a little bit more range strength. It gives it 1 range strength. Everything else is the same. So these new boots end up just being best in slot, and everyone's going to want them. Now, I hope they cost the equivalent of a piece of Torva, like 300 mil. I don't want these to be like 10 mil. Like, remember when the Pegasian Crystal from Serb was 100k, but the Ranger boots are 30 mil? I don't want this to be 100k. And you just need to pay for the boots to combine them. I want this to be the expensive part, and then the boots are also part of the expensive. Like, everyone has boots already, so now just make us pay to put them together. That's what I want. So we'll see where that lies. It really just comes down to the drop rate of it and how fun the content is. Like, if you just make the content awful, like Nex, no one will do it, and then the cost of the items will be high forever. It's just a great design plan, you know? The Diabolical Aegis. This is a 2-handed Demon Bane crush weapon. What I can anticipate is that this is either good at this boss, or it will be good at something in the future. It's got interesting stuff. I went over it in the previous video in more detail, but basically this is it's an adjacent drop to the big ones. You've got the new Occult Necklace, you've got the boots. This is 3rd place. This is kind of like from the Colosseum. The big drop is the quiver, and then your second big drop is, whatever it is, like the Sunfire armor, maybe, I don't know. But then the Tonal Sticks of Raylos, the little frisbee that you throw at things, it's such a niche weapon, and it's like, oh, that's like an adjacent thing. It's just like a throw-in to the main reward of the new quiver. So this is kind of how I see this. It'll be pretty good. It'll be useful against Cerberus and Abyssal Sire. So it'll also be useful at the boss here. So right away, it'll have a ton of value because people will be camping the boss. Long term, it might settle out and just be the equivalent of another one of those Demon Bane weapons like the Emberlight or whatever. So interesting, but not game breaking by any means. Now there's going to be a new Slayer dungeon and a new quest. The new quest is going to drop us a melee budget spec weapon, which is interesting, and I won't get into it. And then the Slayer dungeon is going to drop this Antler Guard. So this thing is basically like a rune defender with 5 prayer bonus. So it's very nice for AFK Slayer on a lower level, and that's what this update is aimed at. The Slayer dungeon's not an end game Slayer dungeon; it's a early to mid game. It says right here, it's like having a proselyte quis in your offhand. So yeah, it's I think that pretty much summarizes it. So at this point, I'll just quickly explain like what the delve system is, and then we'll wrap up. How about that? So if you got this far, appreciate you big time. Drop a sub, subscribe to the channel. We'll have more content, and comment below. What are you looking forward to? Do you like how they've changed these pieces of content drops, whatever? They've done a lot of tinkering based on our feedback. I think overall it's positive. Curious to hear what your thoughts are. So the delve boss system, or delve mechanics, will still embrace the idea of an enrage system with some key differences. So they originally were going to have an enrage system where the boss gets harder every time you fight it. This one is just like you're going deeper and deeper and into the levels. So when Osto Ayak is defeated, it will descend further into its burrow. Chasing after it into the deeper levels increases the chance of receiving unique drops, with some unique drops only appearing at more dangerous levels. We've seen this before. Colosseum, TOA, etc. I think TOA you can get everything at every level, but I'm not sure. But yeah, basically like you got to get to level 6 if you want to get the big boot drop or something like that. Must make your progress in a single run. Returning to the surface will reset to 1. So the worst part of the Colosseum and the Inferno and Jad is like I just want to start halfway through when it's fun. So having that drop that they've mentioned, the tradable drop that lets you purchase to skip waves, incredible. Those are going to be super expensive unless you get a fat stack of them when they drop. Remember Zulrah teleports? This is going way back. They used to drop like 100 at a time or something, or 50 at a time. I don't remember what the number was. And they ended up changing it to be like 4. And that was like a crazy shift to the economy. Like people made so much money on those Zulrah tellies. That's kind of what I see here. Like, don't drop too many. Like, make it so they're expensive. It costs $1 mil to skip to wave 3 or something like that. And on the grand scheme of things, if you're making 15 mil an hour cash, like it's worth doing every single time. Anyways, I'm getting into that. It's worth noting that the chance to snag unique rewards increases as you progress. The quantities of basic level loot do not. So that's good. We don't want it to just print cash for the high level people. This means that you have more chances to get desirable loot without being offloaded with general resources as you delve deeper. There will be 8 delve levels, each increasing in difficulty and loot potential. You can keep repeating the hardest difficulty for as long as you can survive, but if you die, you lose everything. So this is very cool. I really beg and hope that they have some way of displaying your personal best on this. I want there to be like a board that shows who's repeated wave 8 the most, and you'd be like, man, Wook's just repeated wave 8 15 times, and oh, someone just got 16. Like I want there to be like a space race on Twitch television on day 1, and for weeks. I want there to be like weeks of people trying to push to get further and further into this thing. I would like for them to display that on the high scores if they could, like instead of saying like what's your KC, show like how many times have you repeated wave 8, something like that, and that's the number that shows on the high scores. The Doom of Mokoidal is an end game boss, so I'm just kind of confused. So Osto Ayak and then the Doom of Mokoidal, like what is it called? I'm calling it the Dom. Dom is an endgame boss. It'll be particularly fun for players above combat 120 who have or are close to getting their Inferno cape. However, it isn't the Inferno, and the rewards are designed to reflect that. Deeper levels increase the difficulty in the fight in several ways, so you'll get an increased boss attack rate. Just makes you speed up and be, chug a Monster Energy drink before you get into things. Smaller reaction times for special attacks. Lingering arena state from previous levels. This makes you have to think and plan ahead. Where am I going to drop an acid splat or a lava pool or something like that, because it's not going away. And if there's like a safe spot or a pillar that you can hide behind, you need to make sure that you don't drop immovable stuff behind your pillars. So that's good. There'll be additional mechanics right away. I imagine the Doom mechanic is coming back, where you can only take so many hit splats and then you're just dead. That was something from the Coliseum that it's still there, but they had a Doom Scorpion, which was hilarious. Anyways, we don't need to get into that. It was a scorpion that chased you around and killed you instantly. Additional mechanics, environmental changes after level 5, resulting in extra damaging effects, which can be avoided, additional fight mechanics, and special attacks. Environmental changes after level 5, I hope that just means like the terrain changes, you get like lava pools, or you get like new areas, like, oh, there's a pillar is collapsed and you can't go there anymore. Stuff like that. That's kind of how I see it. Exciting though. I'm excited for this boss. It's the first real update of 2025 that I can see happening. We've got the Royal Titans coming very soon from release of this video. But then after that, this is the big one that everyone's going to come back for. There are a lot of people quit after leagues, and rightfully so. A bit of a content lull right now. Hopefully things ramp up and we start getting banger updates every couple months. And everyone's back in the game, having a good time. Appreciate you watching. If you want to see more content from the Flompionator, that's my new name, I guess. You can join the Discord and chat. In the general chat, we just talk about stuff. So that link is in the description. My Twitch link is there. I'm going to stream soon. I've been renovating my kitchen in real life, so I haven't been streaming very often. But it will be back to streaming a couple of times a week. And of course, subscribe, comment below, drop a like, all that good stuff. What do you think? Are you happy with the changes that they've made to these rewards? And also, if you were to go to a fast food restaurant, which one would you go to and what would you get? I need to know that in the comments. Have a good day. Goodbye.